This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anabae, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anabae sofas, the only fully machine-washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Country's rising star Bailey Zimmerman just announced his biggest tour yet, the 2026 Different Night Same Rodeo Tour, hitting over 30 cities across the U.S. and Canada. He's coming off a sold-out 2025 run, and now he's back with a new album and a massive arena show. The star's sophomore album, Different Night Same Rodeo, is out now, featuring the #1 hit, Backup Plan, with Luke Combs, and fan favorites like Lost, Holy Smokes, and Holding On. Want more? Fans can upgrade with VIP packages that include premium seats, exclusive merch, and access to Bailey's pre-show soundcheck party. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com.
This is your case study in ox goring. Leader Fan Radio Network.
Tweet that.
And KFAN.com. Yeah, tweet that. 1 minute, 52 seconds past 3 o'clock. Central Daylight Time. We welcome you back. It is a Thursday edition. That means a 3-hour tour of the Bumper to Bumper program. We will be out at 6 o'clock for the usual outstanding Vikings-related programming. Thursday Night Football. Do we have that on the Fan tonight, too?
We should.
Thursday Night Football might be the Miami Dolphins' last stand.
Seriously.
They're a mess, and they're hosting Buffalo. Godspeed.
I know.
To the Dolphins. But then again, it's football. It's pro football. Weird things happen from week to week, so who's to say?
The Wonderkind, everyone's favorite comedian coach.
Yeah.
Not as funny anymore, is he?
No. Well, they never put the tennis tables back in.
That's true. Remember that?
Is that the Dolphins? Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That
they
was
took
the
him
mistake.
out, then they put him back in, and they took him
back out again. I think it was a cost-cutting measure.
Could have been.
I think there's a poll ad who's involved with the Dolphins, I'm pretty sure, somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. A distant poll ad relative. But that could be my own poll ad derangement syndrome revealing itself here early in the program. My name is Dan Barreiro. I host the show Guardsy produces. And as I said, we'll be here until 6 o'clock tonight with an outstanding array of guests for a 3-hour tour. I must say, I'm very pleased with this mix. Sean Salisbury, Thursday regular, bottom of this hour. I'm very curious to get his view on what took place in the Vikings' second game of the regular season, the home opener, the injury to JJ, and now it's Wentz week. What's he think of Carson Wentz? All of that with Shawnee and more at 3:30. A 4:15, our old friend Kevin Kernan back. And I'll be honest with you. I was ready to say we've done, I think, a fair job in owning Robert Redford. But then I read the piece he wrote, and I said, we got to take another swing at it. No pun intended, because it's very much natural related. Just an outstanding... Kernan at his best is a great storyteller. And he's got a great story that he spun via ball9.com that I said, we can't let it go by. We can't ignore it. So he's going to join at 4:15. We'll rip some nerds as well. I'm sure that'll come up from time to time as well. And then Russo Radio with, I hope, breaking news on the Kaprizov negotiations. He's going to join at 5:02. Kaprizov met the Jackals today. I think it went fairly predictably.
Yep.
Really did not cut open a vein. Happy to be here. Wants to stay here. Leaving the negotiations to somebody else. Is that basically it? That's kind of what he said.
He likes Minnie.
He loves us.
And there's a long time before they have to get it all figured out.
That's it. Oh, yeah, long time. Mm-hmm. Long time. That's 5:02, and then the inbox will be open at 5:30. So hit Guardsy now, JG, at KFAN.com if you'd like to be a part of the Dr. Dan's inbox segment.
We also, I think, have an update.
Yes.
On Carl Gerbschmidt?
Yes.
Because we're supposed to have the pick segment tomorrow?
I did tweet that out.
Yeah.
That you had mentioned something about a mysterious voicemail. Is that correct?
That he left for Abbott, who apparently he was negotiating
Abbott passed it along to you?
Abbott passed it along to me.
I'm glad you reminded me. Yeah, we're gonna reveal that today. And then I don't know. I haven't heard it yet. So I'm gonna try to go into this whole nonsense with an open mind, as I've tried to do, but I'd rather not know what he says in it until we listen to it.
We'll listen live, or we'll listen together all at once.
I'd rather do it that way, for sure. Another case study in ox goring. That's what we're seeing play out, I think, right in front of us right now. Politically speaking, the story broke late during our segment with Kessler yesterday that Jimmy Kimmel has been... Well, I think technically the term is suspended, kind of an open-ended suspension. The assumption is he'll probably never go back to his show, but we'll see on that. And that story has become the A topic pretty much all over the United States of America, maybe even around the world as well. I want to read, why is this another case study in ox goring? Well, I think... one of my favorite Princeton professors. I've got a bunch of favorite Princeton professors.
Yeah.
One of them is named Robert George. We've quoted him from time to time over the years.
Not one of my colleges, by the way, in case anybody was wondering.
Were you tempted? Princeton have a good tennis program generally?
It was solid. Yeah. It was solid. Ivies were good.
Did you come close to any Ivy League offer?
Offer? No. No.
But did you consider an Ivy League school?
I would have.
Yeah, you would have.
I think. I don't think they would have considered me. I don't think my grades were quite good enough.
Well, yeah, that can be a problem.
You'd be surprised.
With some schools,
There's a lot of really smart tennis players.
Are there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh yeah.
This is Robert George on the issue of the day. What Jimmy Kimmel suggested to be true, namely that Charlie Kirk's assassin was MAGA, was false. Did he know when he said it that it was false? I don't know. Did he have reason to know it was false? Yes, but ideology warps people's heads. In any case, we should not want public officials pressuring companies to fire or discipline people for their First Amendment protected speech, even when it's false. It is simply too great a threat to civil liberty. Democrats and liberals are saying that now, but with honorable exceptions. They have no credibility. When the shoe was on the other foot during the Biden years, they were not ardent free speech defenders. They did not raise their voices against government officers pressuring media outlets and platforms. Too often, they allowed themselves to become apologists for it. Shame on them. But their hypocrisy does not justify a complacent attitude today from any of us when government officials pressure media outlets on speech issues. Those of us who did defend First Amendment principles during the Biden years need to be no less outspoken in defending them today. We mustn't be hypocrites. It's bad when media disseminates falsehoods, but to condemn the lying and the liars, I should say, but the way to fight back is by telling the truth, exercising our own free speech rights to condemn the lying and the liars. It's simply unsafe to trust government officials with the power to, in effect, regulate First Amendment protected speech. It is power too easily abused. I've read 1 million words since the story broke yesterday. I can't find any that I think articulate my own belief and opinion any better than this Princeton professor named Robert George. My stated position on Jimmy Kimmel predates any of this nonsense. I think he's a political hack. I never have taken him seriously in terms of his political positions because he's not an equal opportunity satirist. Not even close to that. He never surprises his audience. He gives the audience exactly what he needs to give them. And his framing in this case, and his comments, which, by the way, I think are just on brand. I don't find them beyond the pale, like something needed to be done in this case. I don't even think they're suspension worthy, quite frankly. His framing was, though, typically convenient, leaving out, obviously, for the good of the joke, that there was even Monday likelihood that this was not a MAGA supporter who committed this assassination, who was responsible for this assassination. We didn't know as much then as we have now, or in front of us now, but that was already fairly clear. And when he talked about the second part that apparently he's getting ripped for is the notion that he's mocking MAGA types for trying to score and Republicans for trying to score political points. I've said this about him before. I'll say it again. I say it about a number of people, quite frankly, in MTM, mainstream media. I'd accept that observation if anybody, and I challenge, I'll issue the challenge right now, for anyone to find one time in which Jimmy Kimmel mocked Democrats for trying to score political points from a tragedy. You won't find it because he won't do it. So I want to be clear. I've never been interested in Kimmel politically because, as I said, I know what I'm going to get. He knows what he feels like he's obligated to say, so I don't learn anything. There's an inability in his world to ever, with an open mind, examine the possibility that his own party occasionally might be worthy of significant criticism. So why bother? On the other hand, again, I'll defend his right to go down that ideological road, just as I would anybody on the right-hand side of the aisle. So I think both things can be true. I really do. I think you can be bothered by what he said. For me, it's the framing, as I said, the convenience of the framing already, which, as we certainly now know, even if he didn't know it then, is patently absurd. But it's convenient because that's his brand. But that's why I'm not all that offended. He didn't surprise anybody. He did what he tends to do. We're now in this climate post-Charlie Kirk where the same Republicans who, when the Dems were trying to pressure, well, remember when there was great pressure allegedly certainly from a number of prominent individuals. You got to do something. Spotify, you got to do something about who's the big time podcaster on
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. You got to do something about Joe Rogan. You got to get him off there. You can't just have him. This is too big a platform. And at the time, there were a lot of Republicans who said, well, that's not the kind of pressure we're interested in. You can disagree with Rogan, but we're not interested in that. Well, they've forgotten that conveniently because now they got the other side of the aisle. They got the Jets on the run, especially the President of the United States. So he's going to ratchet it up as much as he can. I will say, of all the things that have happened the last 5 years, though, none, to me, is as egregious of an FCC commissioner spouting the venom and the nonsense that he has.
And the GIFs.
There's GIFs, too?
In response to...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This takes it to another level. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. It is frightening. It is inexcusable. It is, and here's what's always forgotten. If you're a Republican or a Trumper who said, yes, we got him on the run, damn it, don't let up. Remember, it's possible you're not going to be in power forever. So you open the door to this kind of pressure taking place via the FCC because of a couple of statements that were right on brand, but that you just didn't like. And by the way, I didn't hear anything in that where it was mocking Charlie Kirk. Now, again, I'm not this guy's defender. I'm not. I don't even think he's that talented. Garzi and I have talked about this before. I think Garzi does. Maybe, again, it's an age thing, but that's beside the point. That part of it doesn't matter. Now I lost my train of thought. I'm saying I'm not defending. I have very little respect for this guy, but I don't like him. I want the network to make the decision. And you could say, well, the network did. No one forced him. But when you have the rhetoric like this that just preceded, as far as I'm concerned, the network, whoever was responsible for this decision to pull him off, even if they thought his days are numbered, late night in general is numbered, and we need an off-ramp anyway, the last thing you can do if you want to be taken seriously as a business entity is to cave at this point, because that's what it's going to look like. No matter what you may be thinking, well, we got our excuse, it looks like you've caved to an FCC commissioner who has said, hard way or easy way, it's up to you. You go any way you want to go. So, as I said, there's some Democrats, and they know who they are, who are hypocrites on this issue, prove that point, rarely could be heard in this same way on these same important issues during the Biden administration. They're frauds. But as Professor George rightly says, just because we got some hypocrites out there, we mustn't follow suit and suddenly go, well, then, yeah, how about it? Who you want next? Seth Meyers? Is he the next guy to go? Whoever it has to be. That's not the direction to go. That's why this is an utter and complete, in terms of reaction along the usual political lines, a classic case study in Oxcore.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at WashableSofas.com. Starting at just $699, our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit WashableSofas.com today and save. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Whether you're watching college football or flipping between games on Sunday, sound quality matters. A Sonos home theater setup, especially the Arc Ultra soundbar, delivers immersive surround sound and deep bass that makes every play, every hit, and every cheer feel larger than life. And when you're on the go, the Sonos Ace headphones are a game changer. Lightweight, crystal clear, and with up to 30 hours of battery life, they're built for everything, from podcasts to post-game analysis. Visit Sonos.com to explore the full lineup.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Back in just does Kimmel have to be an equal opportunity satirist? His speech is protected either way. Is it because he, like many terrified pundits, should feel the need to cater to the MAGA side of things to protect revenue? Or kiss up to them in case they are in charge for the long term? MAGA has won. Everyone in the media is afraid of them. Powerfully stolen from, I'm guessing, an online tweet. At least I have the courtesy to credit the people that I quote. Number one, I never said once, if you bother to listen to the show, the first segment, that Kimmel has an obligation to be an equal opportunity satirist. In my world, it's why I don't trust him. That doesn't mean I each night, at the end of the night, would go, let's see, let me get my ledger sheet out. Did he go 50% ripping Biden and then 50% ripping the Republicans when Biden was in power? No, that's not the point. The point is, I don't have any, that's why I think he's a hack. For me, he's an ideological hack. I already know what he's going to say before he says it. I already know where the jokes are going to go because he has no ability at any time during the Biden administration, for example, to effectively satirize or ask some of the same questions he feels obligated to ask now. So it's just taste. But through all of that, what else did I say? I will defend his right to be as one-dimensional as he is. What he said the other night was right on brand. I guess I'm surprised that people are that gobsmacked by it, and actually surprised that it wasn't worse. You can make the argument, as somebody did via X, that cleverly, because this is the game that he likes to play, he's not a follow-the-story guy. That's all I'm saying. He's not a Bill Maher guy. He's not going to follow the story. He's gonna ignore the stories that don't fit his bit, and then he's going to twist some of the others. And somebody mentioned that the quote from that night, I think it was Monday night, does sound like he's dog whistling the Bluesky conspiracy, theorizing about how Robinson was a groiper. And I got a bunch of those here. I didn't even really respond to them, but I got a bunch of those. We're going to find out the real reason that Kirk did what he did was that, or I should say that the alleged killer did what he did to Kirk, was that Kirk wasn't far right enough. Oh, it was blossoming very early until we got a little bit more information. So again, I'm here for Kimmel. I mean, I'm holding my nose as I do it, but I'm here for him because I don't want the government involved in this stuff. I want the market, I want the stations, I want the networks to make these kinds of calls, because it's a road, once you start making it easier and easier to go down, everybody loses. And the people who lose the most, guess what? Are those who are out of power at that given moment. Like right now, like I said, the Trumpsters they're riding high. But eventually that's going to change, and then you're back to, okay, well, the revenge is going to be exacted. That's why we're as screwed up as we are. The game now is just revenge, I think, back and forth. Let me see if I can get to a couple more quick texts. Let's see. I'm honestly confused about everybody. I see posting about free speech. Free speech does not apply while you're at work. If you say something while you're working that upsets your employer, they can fire you. We don't know that this. Well, I guess is the employer in this case supposed to be, what's he on, ABC?
ABC, yeah. ABC Disney.
I don't even know. That's part of the problem with this sequencing. If somebody from ABC would say, well, I don't even know if it would matter at this point because the dam has already burst, but it's more who's actually making this decision. And when the government does what it has done in this case, blatantly, I mean, verbally, not hiding it at all, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. It's pretty much up to you exactly which way we want to go. Then it looks exactly like what it seems to be, that another network has just caved in, which then you run the risk of it happening over and over again, and we all end up losing. I much would rather, as I've done for years, is if I hear something that he says that I think is moronic, rip him on it. I'd rather do that. I'm not interested in saying he's got to shut up. I mean, this is all related. No one assassinated a late-night talk show host, but the attempt is to muzzle him, to take away his spot. It's right in line with Charlie Kirk, which was, of course, was worse in that he was murdered. But it's all of the same piece. I don't understand why people can't see that. I heard there was a bunch of sound from the president after he was inaugurated about we're bringing free speech back.
That was Elon's big thing.
Cancel. What's the term for it?
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture is done.
You know what they're doing now, though?
What's that?
It's consequence culture.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I got a text late in the show from Righty Guy, and he said, yeah, okay, there's the First Amendment, there's free speech, but there are also consequences. And that's another Sharks, Jets, Ox, Being Gored game. When you think the consequences, you think somebody needs to go away, that's what you say. You say, yeah, you can say it, but words have consequences. Actions have consequences. Words are powerful. If it's somebody you think got unfairly removed from his position, you don't say that at all. What you say is, that's protected speech. There again, as Professor George has pointed out, there's a dramatic lack of consistency on this. And for me, the test is always going to be about your willingness to defend speech that you don't particularly respect or you don't agree with. That's the test. The easy part is to defend the speech that you love, right? Did you see your gal is...
We should break soon, by the way, too.
Oh, is it time? Okay, yeah. Real quick. This is from... who was the inventor of... well, she got herself in trouble. Is it Rowling?
J.K. Rowling?
J.K. Rowling, yeah.
Yeah. Harry Potter, right?
Harry Potter inventor, who's herself been assailed a lot in the last several years. This came out a few days ago. If you believe free speech is for you but not your political opponents, you're illiberal. If no contrary evidence could change your beliefs, you're a fundamentalist. If you believe the state should punish those with contrary views, you're a totalitarian. And if you believe political opponents should be punished with violence or death, you're a terrorist. The hell's wrong with that? That sounds like pretty good analysis for me.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at washablesofas.com. Starting at just $699, our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit washablesofas.com today and save. That's washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Whether you're watching college football or flipping between games on Sunday, sound quality matters. A Sonos home theater setup, especially the Arc Ultra soundbar, delivers immersive surround sound and deep bass that makes every play, every hit, and every cheer feel larger than life. And when you're on the go, the Sonos Ace headphones are a game changer. Lightweight, crystal clear, and with up to 30 hours of battery life, they're built for everything, from podcasts to post-game analysis. Visit Sonos.com to explore the full lineup.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Sean Salisbury's. Salisbury is indeed back with us. You have questions for Sean, hit the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, I should say, 646-86. When we last spoke with you, the Vikings were preparing for their home opener, and I did think, Sean, there was a chance that the spread was too great. I thought with the injuries, and I thought, Atlanta's got a couple interesting pieces, and we'll see. I can't say I expected it to go the way it did. 22-6, another offensive no-show where there was no recovery. How shocked were you? What did you observe Sunday night?
I was a little really shocked by the game. When we talked last week, I said the one thing that, Atlanta and their defense played well, that has been a problem for them.
Yeah.
They played really good football against a rookie quarterback, Dan. It's good to be on with you. But I also said that I thought that Bijan Robinson was one of the best players in the league, if not as good as anybody. I mean, I know the Barkley, that group, he's in the group, and you saw how they utilized him. And, Penix he can make he's a great intermediate thrower. The overwhelming, they had like 46 plays. You can't win games in this league running 46 plays, Dan. You just can't. 10 first downs, I think. And as I'm watching and think, okay, they're at 8 first downs. They're at 9. They got 10. Their defense did a nice job of forcing field goals. The Vikings, they did.
Yes.
They did a nice job. But, in the end, the closer when they got the touchdown at the end, but the offense didn't help them. They just didn't. I would like to think you're going to be in any game where you can give up, 22 points and have somebody kick 5 field goals. But you're not going to win any game when you kick 3 field goals. The quarterback turns it over. The team has, 3 or 4 turnovers, and they're not protecting the quarterback too many sacks. Every single stat line, although stats can be overrated at times, there was nothing, and it was boring to watch. I mean, not to say the least, so nobody cares about boring if you're winning, but they do care when you're losing. And it was quite frankly, looked like a rookie quarterback, looked like a banged up offense, and looked like an Atlanta Falcons team that's going to do that to some teams this year. And they do have weapons. But this was just an offensive, and it was offending watching them play offense last week because everything they did, and you just can't. And I think they're at times, Dan, and maybe you observe it different from your seat, but I think what happens with a when I say a rookie quarterback, you know what I'm saying, his second start, right, is that you overprotect. You just do. And I think that when you overprotect, every play is so important that when you can't overprotect, and I'm not even talking about protection at the line of scrimmage, I'm talking about play calling protection, that when it's they're not good enough to turn it on and off like a light switch offensively just yet. And I know they've got some banged up players on both sides of the ball, offensive line, et cetera. But it looked like a team that needs a lot of work offensively. And now we'll see what Carson Wentz brings to the table against another backup quarterback this week.
Let's talk a little bit of quarterback psychology. Okay. Do you think it's possible, on the basis of how really 7 of the 8 quarters have gone, as good as that fourth quarter was in Chicago, that deep down KOC is, I don't know, relieved or is okay with, all right, let's take a deep breath with this kid. We still believe in him, but maybe he's a little more overmatched than we thought. Now we have a legitimate reason, an injury, to sit him. He gets to sit. Maybe I get to work with him on some stuff, away, some stuff that I hadn't worked on him before. He gets to calm himself a little bit. Or do you think it's more KOC going, no, man, we need him back on the bike as soon as possible, so actually this is not good news that he's hurt this early?
Yeah, I think it's, and I don't mean this is sitting on the fence. I think it's a combination of both. And I actually thought about that. And I also thought about the third layer. Is there a part of you, and you'll never hear this, of course, but is there a part of you that regrets that you didn't give him a year to learn under Sam Darnold, right? Pay him. Yeah, you're just throwing that out there. They'll never agree to it or admit it. And why would they? But yeah, and it could be a good thing since it's, and not a good thing that you're hurt, but especially since he was, hurt last year in McCarthy. But it can also be a good perspective where you sit back and say, okay, let me see what a veteran who was the MVP in the league until he got hurt late in the Super Bowl season. And his game's gone a little bit south since then in Carson Wentz, but he is a veteran and how he handles his business. I do think there's a little bit of relief that says, okay, I can expand it because of a veteran. But I also think there's that bit say, we knew there was going to be growing pains. We need him back to fight through it because the best way to learn is not on a chalkboard. It's taking shots to the mouth because I think we can tell by the swagger. McCarthy's, I don't think I have to worry about his confidence. I don't. I think that what you're worried about is getting, those live reps and practice reps and get him in the game that matter. And this is just a setback because when he comes back, whenever that might be, it gives you a chance when he comes back to say, okay, are we starting over? Do we got to revert back? Okay, let's get back to doing basics. And are you back to being, and I don't know how much they're going to open up with the playbook with Wentz there as a veteran and what they think he's capable of. And I'm going to tell you a quick little tidbit about him. But with McCarthy, I think they committed so much to him, Dan, meaning this is your team. We have a Pro Bowler that we're letting walk. And he brought in a guy who's a veteran, but really wasn't competition to the job in their mind with JJ, meaning Carson Wentz, that you want to get him every rep you can. But you got the test because 2 games in a row in 7 quarters, he's been punched in the face. He responded in the fourth quarter of that one. They just weren't good enough to do it last week. So he looked like a rookie, which is okay. But the Vikings are a playoff team with a rookie quarterback and I say rookie, people, I know it, rookie starts.
Right,
okay, he's only on his second start. So that's how I view it. But the chalkboard does fine. You got to stay engaged. But the truth is live reps are important. But there's no doubt there's a sense of, okay, we should be able to, with the veteran, expand it a bit. But I'm not worried about the fragility of McCarthy. It's just got to grow. But part of the growing is to say, you know what, I trust you enough. We're going to cut it loose. Yeah, we're going to start throwing the ball. You just have to. And in order to get Jefferson involved, you've got to engage in that. And, hey, if you're going to go down protecting it, why not go down expanding it? And so that's just the way I feel. And I know they're defensively pretty solid, the Vikings, and good and Brian. But I think there's a sense of relief, and a sense of it's 3-tiered. We need him. Okay, let's see what the veteran does. And then, were we premature, which is too early to say that, but were we premature in letting a veteran who'd been through his times and had now turned the corner and Sam Darnold walk? But 2 games in, I'm going to harbor and slow down my role of the panic or, man, is it too soon? Are we glad he's on the side? They'd rather have McCarthy than Wentz start, I assure you. But it still gives you a presence of, okay, it's a veteran, not a second-year guy.
Wentz, as you well know, comes into the league as a high pedigree, high draft pick guy and explodes. It looks like he's going to be worthy of all of that. You know the story of what happened after his injury in Philly, and really he's become, in terms of how much he's moved around, the definition of journeyman, one could say. So what's your read on what you think he might be capable of giving them going forward, at least for the next few weeks?
Man, I want to give love to the game. I want to believe in it, right? But it's not he is a journeyman at this stage, Dan. He just is, and I know I think you agree with me on that, as you mentioned it. Listen, when he was there, and they put him in, the offense was perfect for him. They had Frank Reich, and they had. They had Doug Peterson. It was set, everything they had, and the offense fit him, right? And that year, he went on that role that had he finished it out, he probably would have been the MVP of the league. He was playing that well. Mm-hmm. Well, then he gets hurt. And this is just from me, my observation. And then I'll validate something I wondered about. And this isn't against Carson Wentz, but it's something that somebody else observed that coached him in the pros. At one of the stops, and I'm going to leave the name out because he loved him, and he still does. But when he lost that job and got hurt in Philly, and the result of, while you're rooting on your team, who got the credit for that season? Nick Foles did. Yeah. because he played like a monster in the postseason. Now, we all go back, oh, yeah, but Carson Wentz. But you remember after he struggled in year 2 and 3, they were calling for Nick Foles to be the starter.
That's right.
And, Dan, it's a fragile position. And this is just my observation, because you can't go from being that. He was at his size. Hell, he was as big as I was, but had the feet of a guy that was 6'1", 200 pounds. He could move, and they utilized him, and he was confident. And then mechanically, he was sound, and the ball was coming out on time. And he had good players, and it's like, oh, man, I see why they loved him out of North Dakota State. The dude's a monster. Even though you saw him in college, you said, well, is the next level going to be a little bit too big a jump? And it wasn't. And, Dan, when you saw what happened and then watch Foles out-duel Brady in the Super Bowl and win the MVP, there is always this sense, and we've all been through it at some level or another. What's going to happen to me? Did they forget about me?
Right.
I don't know how he felt, but the result tells me confidence went to hell in a handbasket. It just did. You can't be that good. And literally overnight, it felt like he forgot how to play. It just did. And, and then he had a couple, there was moments along the way at Philly. And
the Colts, he had good numbers. Sean,
he did.
But then he finished, I think that season, they had a chance to get in, and he had a couple of really bad outings late, right?
They lost back-to-back games at the end,
That's right.
They didn't make the playoffs in Jacksonville. And you never really saw him, Washington, right? But yes, there were moments, and that's it. And then he got to when he got to another, and I talked to a coach at one of his other stops. And we were sitting in a room, and I said, I love Wentz, man. What happened? He goes, Sean, I do too. He says he's a freaking great guy. But there's that part of would he rather hunt than play football. Now, I don't know if he's regained it or if he ever lost it. But this coach's observation, who loved Wentz and thinks he's a phenomenal human being and a talented player, he questioned how much he loves playing.
Interesting.
He told me that in person. Question at that point in time, and I get it. This isn't a derogatory that he hates football
right.
That he was a malcontent. Not that. He never said any of that. He just said that at that position, Dan, you've seen great ones there. Fran Tarkenton. You roll through all the great ones. Warren Moon. They loved it.
Yes, they did.
I wasn't great, but I loved it, And so it's hard to sustain greatness at that position. You take the confidence lost. Now he's been on 3 or 4 teams to Kansas City and Washington and Indy. And Jacksonville, everybody's saying, oh, this guy's first round pick. Thank goodness for Nick Foles, which is kind of a slap in the face because without him, they don't get there that year to the playoffs. So you're going through all this, and then all of a sudden it hits you like, we know he's an outdoorsman and he's a religious guy. And all of a sudden you start to think, well, is there things more important? I'm just a guy now.
Yep.
And that can affect you, and it can. And when I asked him, I said, what happened? Face to face, we were having this conversation. And he said, Sean, I said the same thing. He said, but it just started, it felt a little late here. And you're like, well, and the fact of not loving, wondering about the passion. Had he been affected basically enough to where it steals the passion from you? We've all been there in some part of our life, right, Dan? Whether it's marriage or whether it's your career or whether it's your belief in a friend, whatever it is, we've all like, man, damn. And you almost start to devalue yourself. And so when you couple those two together, you're looking for rejuvenation. And I was surprised at that because I thought, man, this guy is really special talent-wise. And then the accuracy and the mechanics started to suffer along the way because you're trying to find that rhythm where you're the guy again. And here we are. And I don't know what's going to happen in Minnesota. Hell, he may come out and win 2 or 3 in a row, depending on how long JJ's hurt, and crush it. And then back to your original Kevin question. Kevin's like, you know what, JJ, stay right there. We're going to be fine. You got a bright future, and he does. Don't judge. People don't judge what you saw the first 2 weeks. This is going to be a good quarterback. JJ is. But you got a veteran that you hope, and I would imagine that they're probably feeling the same way you and I are, hoping that Carson Wentz brings back a little Philly in him and plays pissed as opposed to play devalued, right?
Yeah.
And I understand his plight, but I was a little surprised. So hopefully the hunting and fishing passion come together with the football passion, and he's got an opportunity to prove it and on a good team too.
That is interesting. Those are interesting observations in terms of the conversations you've had about him. I said this the other day. One of the amazing things about the football gods is they don't always care whatever the plans are. In other words, the plan here obviously is this is JJ's team. And for better or for worse, that's what's going to happen. Well, sometimes in situations like this, somebody else comes in and he plays his butt off. And ends up, either keeping the job for a whole season or keeps it for 10 games. The football gods, they are, I think, notorious for screwing up whatever the plans are. And by the way, sometimes it ends up better than you thought. It could turn out worse. But the Vikings, we talked about their history, Sean, a lot the last week or two. The number of times this team took off after the quarterback who was supposed to start for that season got hurt, right? Brad Johnson goes to Randall Cunningham. Case Keenum takes over.
Yes.
The Wade Wilson, takes over for Tommy Kramer, and there were no plans.
Did it a million times.
Yes.
No doubt.
So that's going to be the interesting angle to watch here. The Vikings, as a franchise, are actually in a very familiar place, even if they'd rather not be.
Yeah, and embrace it.
Yes.
And listen, like I said, and I'll be honest, listen, people say, well, you can't lose your job. He's young and fragile. No, the hell with that. If Carson Wentz goes on a 300-game roll for 3 in a row and they win 3 in a row, J.J. McCarthy's going to have to sit back and watch. You as a player, you owe that to your team. Does that make sense? And it may be for 2 more weeks. It may be for 6 more weeks. And it may end up being a good thing for McCarthy. You never know. Sit back and say, okay, man, Carson. And the truth is, all it is a stepping stone for Carson Wentz to play great for this team, gain that love, confidence, and ability back that he had when he went to Philly. And like Darnold, you're auditioning for another job, because you really are. But in the meantime, you got to stay in the moment. Carson Wentz can't be thinking about, well, I got jobbed here and I didn't get a chance here. Man, I'm going to play. You got to play for the moment, because if you stay, Case Keenum stayed in the moment. Wade stayed in the moment. The few games that I won, you stay in the moment. You're not worried about the future, because if you do, you're going to screw up the present. So you are right. And the Vikings have as good a history of anybody of seizing that moment and players believing in the backup. Well, here's Wentz's opportunity. So I'm with you 100%. And I don't think, and it may end up being a positive for everybody involved. Team, McCarthy, Wentz. And if it is, that's the best of all worlds. What's the worst that can happen? You kick 3 field goals this week? And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you got a guy, and if I'm Carson Wentz, Dan, and this is one of the hardest things to do, you come in and you know the opportunity's there. You know who the future is, but you're thinking to yourself, this is a chance for me to help this team, but expand my bandwidth of people saying, oh, okay, the guy's he's Geno Smith his career, right? Mm-hmm. He's rejuvenated his career, or Sam Darnold, hell, and now he's in a position, but he has got to do everything he can. He got to let go. And for me, one of the hardest things to do is let go of the rear view mirror, because you threw a pick or want this gig, and to do it. And Carson Wentz has had failures, but he's had successes. He's got to find a way in his mental psyche. For quarterback position, superstars too, it's the most fragile, insecure people in position in the world, because of what he did. Forgot about him in Philly. Well, he's got to get back into that. What made me great when I was in Philly? Good play caller, good players, but also I didn't play not to lose. I played aggressive, because what's he going to do? Regardless, at some point he's going to go back to the bench, whether it's this year on Minnesota or whether it's next year he's a starter somewhere else eventually. So he's seen rock bottom in his career, and he's seen the penthouse. And it's time for him. And if he plays somewhere in the middle, the Vikings will have a chance. So it could turn out well. And if you're Kevin O'Connell, you got to empty the playbook, man. You got to let this thing rip, and not only test him, but get those guys that need to touch the ball. It should expand it.
Well, in some ways, it may be easier for the coach to adhere to that philosophy, because, of course, he's down one running back. Aaron Jones is out. So now Mason, who we all like, he's got to be the main guy, and you got nothing established behind him. And Jefferson obviously needs the ball more. I don't know if Wentz has it in him. I think, like I said, he's a journeyman at this point, so the odds are not good. But you want to talk about an opportunity, as you say, to transform your career. You got good infrastructure around you, a team that won 14 games last year. Admittedly, they've got a lot of injuries right now, but nevertheless, you got some talent on this thing. And if nothing else, even if the reins get are returned to McCarthy in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, if you play well enough, maybe you intrigue somebody enough to say, I'll take another shot at him. Maybe he figures some stuff out. I don't know. Yeah. So it's a hell of an opportunity for him.
Sure it is, on a team that's got as good a wide receiver. I mean, you got some people to get the football to, injuries or not, and also a good coach, a hell of a head coach, and a good offensive staff. You know what's crazy about this? And let's say he plays 3 games and plays well and they win, and Kevin, who's committed to it, says, I'm going back. JJ's our guy.
Right.
What you've done is you've invested in, and you've also gained the respect and the heavy performance respect of the guys in the locker room. And regardless of you and I's belief or anybody else's, the number one belief he has to have is those dudes. Because when they start to believe in you, you've seen it, they will rally. I mean, you mentioned even Case Keenum, journeyman. Listen, a journeyman's only because that label's been placed on you because you maybe haven't got a chance somewhere else, right, and the expectations were higher. But you know what? Hell, they even started to label Baker Mayfield as a journeyman.
Yes, you're right.
Baker Mayfield, aside from Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, the last year and 2 games, Baker Mayfield's played as good a quarterback as anybody in the league.
It's a great point. You're right.
I can argue the way he's played better than Mahomes the last year in 2 games.
Yep.
And that's saying something. The guy in Buffalo and the guy in Baltimore, very few have played better than those cats. But he's got an opportunity, Carson, and if he loves it and is playing for that, the group to win and gain that back, it'll bode well for him.
Last quickie, not related to the Vikings and the quarterback situation. Have you weighed in? I assume you have, but have you weighed in on the Brady kerfuffle as it again kind of was revealed through the visual, right? I mean, we kind of knew that he was an owner and a part owner and pretty involved, but then you see that shot of him in the coach's box. He's got the headset on, and I think that sort of crystallized it for a lot of people. It's like, okay, are we messing around with some trouble here? In fact, I think a former Raiders coach has pretty much said,
Antonio Pierce.
Yes, basically said, yeah, and true, Brady did come to me with some stuff. He does think it's a conflict as well. Do you view it as a significant conflict of interest that the NFL is ignoring, or not such a big deal?
Yeah, regardless of my love for Brady and his career and all that, let's compartmentalize. For me, I did not have a problem with him sitting up there. If I'm Chip Kelly, I want his ass sitting next to me too, because as much as Chip knows, Tom knows it all as well. Right. I'm going to lean on him. If I'm not leaning on him there, I'm obviously meeting with him all week long and say, Tom, how would you attack this coverage? Why wouldn't you? Now, when we see the Colts owner on the sidelines with an earpiece in, she's not a broadcaster, but she is the owner. Are we okay with that? Are we okay with Jerry Jones sitting? I mean, I know Jerry didn't have an ear, but if Jerry went in, we'd give him a hard time for being a meddler and a micro owner. But with Tom, you're getting premium information. So as far as the optics there, as an owner, hell, he's the owner. He can sit wherever the hell he wants. But if the NFL doesn't have a problem with him talking to Chip during the game, I don't either. But the broadcast part.
Right, that's the part.
The games, he can't. It's an integrity problem. I don't care if they say, well, Tom's filled with integrity. Yeah, and so am I. And if I had balls, she'd be my uncle, okay? Of course he wants to win. The value of his team wants to win. Why wouldn't you say, hey, man, you didn't hear this from me, but they plan on playing 2-man in the red zone 80% of the time. I was just in the meeting with the team we're going to play. You can't.
No,
that's when you shift Burkhardt and Brady to the number 2 team, and Joe Davis and Greg Olsen, they go back for that week to the one National Raider game. And that's just part and parcel to it. You cannot do it because no matter what happens, Brady can't win. Because if Oakland plays great, what's everybody going to say, Dan? Mm-hmm. Brady fed him.
Yeah, no question.
And if I'm the opposing team, you know what I'm telling him? Everything he doesn't want to hear. So he goes back and tells his teams the stuff we're going to do that we're not going to do. So you just can't. Up there as an owner, I don't care where he is. As a player, I don't want him on the sidelines because, well, he's the owner. He's different now. You're in a suit. You're in a golf shirt. We're down here. Come down after the game. We'll see you in the locker. But as a broadcaster, you absolutely cannot broadcast National Raider games as the owner. If they tried to do that, you're opening up. It looks to me like it's Tom Brady. Let's play favoritism. You cannot do that. Absolutely not. And if they do, it's a major conflict of interest, and the NFL should have a problem with it.
Great stuff as always, my friend. We will chat next week. Thanks, Shawnee.
Go Vikes. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you.
Sean Salisbury joins us every Thursday during the season. Don't forget, we've got much more yet to come, including Dr. Dan's Inbox opening up at, 5:30 after Russo Radio. Email guardsy@KFAN.com.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anabae, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anabae sofas, the only fully machine-washable sofas inside and out. starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Football is back. That means it's tailgate time, and this season the only meat I'm going to grill is Dietz and Watson. I'm loving the Black Angus Dietz dogs. They're flavor-packed, and you can tell they are made with the highest quality ingredients. Sundays just got a whole lot better. Visit DietzandWatson.com/therightway to learn more about the Dietz difference.
Wasabi Technologies is purpose-built to free businesses from skyrocketing storage costs and unpredictable egress fees from those old and top-heavy legacy providers. You know, the big guys. Wasabi is the go-to provider for professional and collegiate sports teams around the world. From Wasabi's AI-enabled intelligent media storage, Wasabi Air, to the industry's only cloud storage service with triple protection against cyber criminals, Wasabi is driving innovation in data storage. All for up to 80% less than those other guys. Try them out for free at wasabi.com.